All right, so this next one started playing here, but it's Daft Punk Face to Face. So I will say I've heard quite a bit of music from Daft Punk. Um, Let me pull the lyrics over real quick. And so a bit of a story before we jump into this one. Back in like when did this album come out? 2001, 2000, something like that, right? What does it say here? 2001. Back in like the early 2000s, I would stay up late and watch Adult Swim without my parents' knowledge. That's where I learned of my favorite anime, Cowboy Bebop. That's where I watched like Gundam Wing, but like the uncensored version of Gundam Wing, Inuyasha, Home Movies. I don't know if you guys know Home Movies. That used to be one of my favorite shows. Oh, she's looking at herself in the mirror. Anyway, Home Movies and Aqua Teen Hunger Force, and I know I'm leaving a bunch off, but yeah, I watched so much Adult Swim when I was a kid. But funny enough, every so often, and maybe I'm misremembering, it might have been Toonami who did this as well, but every so often they would actually play Gorillaz, and they would play Daft Punk music videos because they were animated. So through, again, whatever it was, Toonami or Adult Swim, I had heard Daft Punk's One More Time, and I had heard, I want to say Around the World, because they had the anime style music videos, and they would play them on Toonami. They would also play the Gorillaz, Clint Eastwood, again because it was animated. So kind of where I heard that song for the first time also. So I don't know why I'm telling you the story. I think it's because this song comes from that same album. The point is, I've heard a few Daft Punk songs in my life, and now she's walking on my desk. Cattail, get it out of here, and get your head out of my water. Living with cats, man, it's great. And then I've heard all of Random Access Memories. Their most recent album. I have not kept up with Daft Punk enough, but definitely a fan of Random Access Memories. Anyway, let's jump into this one, Face to Face. I did want to grab the actual music video because I'm just a sucker for this old school anime style, so definitely wanted to get into that. So here we go, Daft Punk, Face to Face. Let's do it. All right, I'm going to start it over, but that really reminds me of the opening to Billie Jean from Michael Jackson. Anyway, just had to share that.
What's going on? Could this be my understanding? It's not your fault. I was being too demanding. I must admit, it's my pride that made me distant. All because I hope that you'd be someone different. There's not much I know about you. Fear will always make you blind. But the answer is in clear view. It's amazing what you'll find face to face. try to forget until I hit the bottom. But when I faced you in my blank confusion, I realized you weren't wrong, it was a mere illusion. It really didn't make sense just to leave this unresolved. It's not hard to go the distance when you finally get involved face to face.
Love that classic like anime look. You know, the way that they the way they drew people back in those old anime. I don't know if there are any anime buffs among you, but what anime does that come from? Because I have no idea. I have no idea. Anyway, let's talk about the song. So first, I do like to read the about section. It says here the penultimate track on Daft Punk's Discovery features American house producer Todd Edwards co-producing and on vocals, describing how talking face-to-face in person is the best way to resolve what's been broken. In this case, it's his pride got in the way and caused him to believe she was the problem. Then he realizes it was him all along. Okay, sure, why not? Let's take a look at the lyrics and see if that's what we get. I will say I like his vocals. I had no idea that's who was on vocals here, but I like it a lot. So, you are face-to-face now, face-to-face. You are face-to-face now with me. You are face-to-face now. The thing with Daft Punk lyrics is they can get a little repetitive, right? So, face-to-face now with me. You are dancing. You are dancing. You are face-to-face now. Face-to-face with me. What's going on? Could this be my understanding? It's not your fault. I was being too demanding. I must admit it's my pride that made me distant, all because I hoped that you'd be someone different. There's not much I know about you. Fear will always make you blind, but the answer is in clear view. It's amazing what you'll find face to face. So, I mean, is this about like people who met like on the internet or like met through some sort of distance communication? And then when they come face to face, it's like, oh, you don't look like your profile picture. Like, it was something like that, or what? Because I mean, like you said, it's amazing what you'll find face to face. You're face to face now, face to face with me. Kind of goes on like that for some time. I turned away because I thought you were the problem. I tried to forget until I hit the bottom, but then I faced you in my blank confusion. I realized you weren't wrong. It was a mere illusion. So it's like, yeah, it's like it's not their fault, but it's just like, you know, it was an illusion that they had, like, I guess, come to understand versus what they actually saw face to face, right? So it really didn't make sense just to leave this unresolved. It's not hard to go the distance when you finally get involved face to face. And again, like, yeah, even though, again, it wasn't exactly what I was expecting when we did meet face to face. It's like, okay, well, I mean, we can't just leave this unresolved. But now that we've met each other, it's easier to go the distance. It's easier to actually like communicate and what have you. That's kind of what I'm pulling from it. So you're face to face now, dancing, blah blah blah. It really didn't make sense just to leave this unresolved. It's not hard to go the distance when you finally get involved face to face. Yeah, okay. I mean, I think the lyrics here are pretty interesting. I have no idea if I'm interpreting them like correctly. So yeah, I think it's fine, and I kind of agree with you, Miller, is that it could be like, again, like getting catfished, right? It's like let's meet, like we met online, right? And it's like, oh, now that we're face to face, it's like I don't know if I actually think you're like the person I thought you were. So Yeah. Lyrically, it's interesting. I'll give it a thumb up. Why not? As far as instrumentation goes, the cool thing about Daft Punk is they know how to use repetition to their advantage, and so I think you get a lot of that in the instrumentation. But I think it works out a whole lot. Really, just makes it a very groovy, like danceable track, sort of. I don't really have much to say about it. It's definitely sort of outside of my wheelhouse a little bit. I do like I said, I've heard a lot from Daft Punk, and I do like a lot of their music, but there's definitely like a certain style that I'm used to, and this kind of falls outside of it. So, but I still enjoyed it. Still enjoyed it. Sorry, Alexa in the other room was like talking and scared the shit out of me. So I was like, I thought I was home alone. Um, anyway, yeah, I think instrumentally and even vocally, I actually really like the vocals here. I thought it was good. Again, very danceable, very fun to listen to. I give it a thumb up. As far as replay value goes, I think this one makes the playlist. Like I said, a little bit outside of what I normally listen to, but just overall really enjoyable. It's one of those that you can put on and just enjoy listening to. So definitely no complaints there. I give it a thumb up for replay value as well. Overall, a very good song. Honestly, I would definitely go back to Daft Punk. Again, I've heard a good amount of their music, but I'm sure there's still a lot out there that I haven't touched on yet, like this one. So, all right, thank you so much for the request. Let's keep it moving.